All right, just like that, we are live and we're across 3 or 4 different platforms right now. If you catch this on YouTube after the fact, I'm just going live right now on Instagram. If you catch it after the fact, it is because, we're actually doing this live. I don't do anything like where I'm going to go back and I'm going to edit this or anything. I'm actually going to do it in real time with you because today we're talking about something that's really important, which is geofencing ads on Meta. You know, a lot of times home service industries are going to give us a call and they'll say, well, can you target a certain area, a city, a demographic? Can we exclude a certain zip code? Can we only target right here? I only want to reach people in this area after a hailstorm. And sometimes there's some myths, sometimes there's some misconceptions, and sometimes there's some things that contractors and small businesses don't think we can do that we actually can. Now, I'm only going to be able to break down because of time a small portion of the Meta platform. I'm going to dive right into the ads manager, do a screen share with you so that you can see how we approach geofencing ads. I'm going to peel back the curtain here a little bit, and there are going to be people who disagree with me. I can only go and tell you what works for us and why we do it. So if you ever become a client of Blue Collar Media Group, I'm telling you right now, this is exactly how we advise our clients and what we do. And I'm going to show you a few different ways that we do things. There's not a one size fits all for everybody. It's going to be situational, and you should always approach your ads that way. You shouldn't just look at it and go, well, you know, somebody else worked for them down the street, so it's going to work for me. Well, you've got to take into how long have they been running ads? What does their brand look like? How much money do you have to put behind the ads? What is your goal for those ads, and who's your target audience? All these things should be taken into consideration. So while I'm going to do some very blanket statements here today, I want you to know that there is more to it. There's some more depth. And of course, if you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a message, drop me a comment, what your thoughts are or experiences. I'll be able to share a little bit with you here so that hopefully you become a little more educated on geofencing within the ads platform. I'm going to go and do a screen share right now, and I'm going to bring you into a new campaign and show you exactly what we look at right now. All right, here we go. Let's dive into this. Let's do a share screen. I think that this is it. Yeah. I'm actually going to open up my ad account right now. Go back over here. Make sure that you can see it. I think that looks good. What do you think, Anthony? That one right there?
Yeah.
I think that's probably I guess I could go full screen. There we go. That's probably best. So people can really see this stuff. If you're watching online and turn your phone to the side, be able to see this and dive into it. I'm actually showing you here the back end of our ads that are running right now. So I'm not going to show you any client. Normally, when you go into a ad campaign, everybody, these are going to be the options that you're going to be given. I'm given the same options that you are within your business, so we're going to make a choice. I'm going to assume that, let's just say it's leads is what most people want, so we're going to dive into a leads campaign. Targeting does not happen right here on the front end, so we're just going to move on to where the targeting actually does happen. We're going to move into the ad set level. And this is where I want to start to talk to you a little bit about the different layers of geofencing your ads. One of the first things I want to look at is this. Here we go. Number one is data set right there. That's a data set that you can create. One of the things that people need to understand, especially if you are running ads over to a landing page, there's something called a pixel. You can install it. You can find them a lot. Meta pixel. It's very easy to do. Go watch a YouTube video for 3 minutes on it. You'll understand it. You can install a meta pixel onto a landing page, which is a destination perhaps that somebody is being sent to. That meta pixel communicates back with your ads manager to let it know what's working, how many people are going there, what they're doing when they get onto your page. If you don't have a pixel and you're sending people to a page, Meta's not going to favor you. And what it's going to do is it's going to say, I don't want to send people there because it's sending people off of my platform. So if you're just beginning into running ads, make sure you got a pixel, spend a little time, just get your basic stuff, okay? And you'll be able to be more favored by Meta. In addition to that, I always call it a seasoned pixel, something that it's been used for a long time. It understands what kind of customers you want, and it communicates that information back over to Meta. So as your campaigns become more seasoned and as they learn your target audience in your area more, what you're going to be able to do is target in on certain customers in certain areas. And that pixel is going to help you to do that. So the first thing you see here for me is a pixel, everybody. So I have a very seasoned pixel, in my opinion. It knows my kind of people. It knows I'm trying to reach roofers, HVAC, and restoration contractors. So even if I was to put out an ad out there that didn't speak directly to these people, we would be able to find them. If nothing else, our pixel is going to communicate back with Meta and understands our audience, okay? The next thing we're going to move down to right here, let's show more options. All right, there we go. All right, let's move here. Oh, did I miss it? Where is it? See, this is what you get when you do things live, everybody. I'll tell you. Here it is. I missed it. Value rules. A lot of people are not using value rules right now, and you're going to feel like there's a mixed bag of people if you look it up on YouTube who love them, who hate them, who give you a different number that you're supposed to associate with them. But all I want you to do is look at value rules as an opportunity to apply more money to a certain area or demographic of people that you find to be more valuable. For instance, let's jump into this one right here that I'm doing a screen share with. Value rules. Yes, I understand what I'm doing. I'm going to create a rule. You can drop this menu down and you can say, I don't know. I'm Ghost right here. I'm the new, let's say, marketing manager for Ghost. And I think that people between the ages of 20 and 30 years old are our most valuable demographic that we're finding online. You could choose, sorry, I did the wrong one. You could choose between age right here, and you could select an age range. Let's say in that case, it was, well, I said that. So let's say 18 to 34 right there. You just pick 2, and you could say that that's more valuable to me across the country to market to those people. Then it asks you how much you're willing to bid more on those people to put your content in front of them. Now, depending on who you ask, there are people who say you have to do at least 50, you have to do at least 80% more for this to mean something. Other people will go the opposite end. And so all it's saying is that these people are more valuable to me, and I'm willing to pay a little bit more to put my content in front of these people and to get conversions there. With that said, my opinion, how we use this is to help train AI into what is more valuable in an area, in a demographic area. So I'm going to show you how we do it here, because most of what we're working with is not age being more valuable or gender, or if it's iOS versus its Android platform, but actually it's going to be the location. So if you are a local contractor, what I will do is help to teach the AI in the beginning. I might put something on here like Tampa, Florida, as a demographic area, that city. Now, you can also look at bigger areas. Nashville is a good area. I know because we do one there. Nashville, Tennessee is an area right there as well. So Tennessee, that area. Now, look at this. What if I go ahead and I say, well, what about Nashville, not Nashville, Tennessee, but the DMA of Nashville? A designated market area is what that is. So you can expand out from the city in certain areas. I think that Houston has one, but I don't think Dallas does. Yeah, Houston has a DMA. And when you look at that on a map, it's actually larger than the city. Another one, like I said, if it was Nashville that you wanted to be in, it has a DMA. You can see right there next to it, it says market. Okay. So you could do Nashville as a city or Nashville as a market, depending on how large of an area that you cover. So this is right here. Some people will say, well, it's not going to do anything if you put it down to 30%. I believe that it's deeper than that, because what you're really doing is you're applying more value to one area, and you're helping to teach the AI that this is an area that I want to be involved in. So these are called value rules. I would highly recommend that somebody jump in here, start looking at it. All right. Start looking at, maybe there is a gender or an age that you find is your sweet zone in whatever business that you have. Go ahead and don't be afraid to jump in here and to apply a little bit more money to get your content in front of these people, especially if we're looking at how you geofence your ads. This can help you a lot right there, okay? Let's keep on going down. We got budget going all right there. And now we're getting into our controls, everybody. I'm going to show more right here, and we're going to jump into the actual geofencing. Now, first of all, if you are a home service contractor, and most of you are who watch or want to be a part of Blue Collar Media Group, one of the things I want to caution you against, and there's going to be multiple sides to this, is what's called Advantage Plus that you see on your screen. This is the AI that is allowing it to find more people like your audience. And there are wide ranges of theories and opinions if Advantage Plus is a good thing for a local contractor. I want to explain to you why. Because I tell my clients that Advantage Plus is like a tiger that is really good at hunting. Okay. If you give a tiger an area to hunt and you put a paper cage around it, it's going to run right through the paper cage, everyone. Put a cardboard around it, it's going to step right over or run right over the cardboard. And so it's a very powerful tool if you're going to use Advantage Plus that you need to control. If you don't, that tiger will hunt outside of that cage. We see this a lot when people start, you start getting into ads. You'll hear the horror stories about, well, I'm getting people outside of my service area. And this happens a lot when you're getting into a new ad account that's not seasoned with a pixel. It doesn't understand your audience. You haven't given it the right parameters. You turn on and keep on Advantage Plus, and it begins to hunt outside of the area for you because it's really good at finding people like the ones that you want. And it's going to go searching everywhere for it, even if it's outside the designated area. That is one thing that I want to bring up to you. And it's probably the major point that I want to make within this entire monologue that I'm having with you today, is that there is no guarantee. I can't just set up, nor can anybody set up a strong cage around your area that can guarantee you're not going to get people outside of that service area. You can't. Now, we can do everything possible to make sure that we keep people within that area. We can make sure that you don't get a lot of spam or you don't get people that are in wide ranges here and there. But if we were looking at Tampa, can I guarantee you're not going to get an Orlando or Lakeland lead? Of course not. And any marketing company that promises you that is lying. Now, we can get really good at it, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect. You have to take that thought out of your mind when you begin to run ads on social media, that the leads are not always going to be perfect and they're not always going to be right within your service area. And if we can do that and we can teach the AI as we go, which we can do in another episode, and I'll show you how we do that. But then what begins to happen is we can hone in and we can find out what's right. But get that thought out of your mind that everything is going to always be within your service area and there's never going to be anything that this Advantage Plus doesn't hunt outside of that area. All right, so let's jump into location targeting, all right? I'm going to jump it down right here, and I'm going to pretend that we are a local contractor in, where do you want to be? I'm going to go Tampa. I don't know. Let's go. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go, Anthony? What do we think? Tampa?
Sure.
Fort Lauderdale? I don't know. What do you want to do? West Palm. I like it. All right. I like West Palm. All right, here we go, everybody. So here's what I want to show you how we choose to target, because what we want to do is we want to teach the AI while doing what I call give it room to breathe. So many of you, when you begin doing campaigns across Meta, you want to just get so particular into this exact person that you want. I only want parents between the ages of 30 and 60, and I want and you just build it out. And before you know it, you've confused the AI like you have no idea. And believe me, we will jump into that in a different episode about how to keep things simple but yet effective. Right now, I want to focus on targeting and what we feel is one of the better ways to do it that is simple. There again are 10 different ways you can target. That's why they offer 10 different ways on here, zip codes and all sorts of stuff. I'm going to show you what we believe is the most effective for somebody, especially a contractor who may not have a lot of experience in the ads platform. So let's take West Palm Beach. As Anthony just behind the scenes said, we now have a contractor that's in West Palm. I am now targeting West Palm Beach right here. And let's just say this contractor has a 50-mile radius outside of West Palm Beach that they cover. If you can log in right now, you're seeing your screen, you will see that there's a blue radius around West Palm. It includes Fort Lauderdale going back to North Miami right there. Great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go a little bit closer. I'm going to say, well, what about Palm Beach Gardens right there? Palm Beach Gardens, everybody. Right there. There we go. Palm Beach Gardens. And I'll go Coral Springs on this side. What I am doing is I am sending signals to Meta then not only is this area valuable to me, I like to send another couple of signals over to it to let it know within that area, this is where we want to be. Find people like this. Great, Patrick. Okay. How are we going to stop it from going outside of that area? Well, let's try to teach it here, okay? So what I do is I look for major cities surrounding my target area. In this case, I'm going to click right here where it says include and go to exclude. I'm going to go over here and go to Orlando, Florida City. Great. And I'm going to move that exclusion up to 50 miles. Now look what my map looks like here. Great. I'm going to go over to another city here, Tampa, Florida. City. Again, moving that, it always does that. It goes Tampa, Kansas, or whatever it is. All right. So if you, by the way, if you ever do this and you type in Tampa, it's the second one down, everybody. There we go. And we're going to jump that up to a 50. And then I'm going to go over to Naples on the other side of the state. I've done this a few different times, everyone. And we're going to go there. And we're going to drop Naples up to 50 as well. Boom. Okay. On a broad scale, I want you to look at what this looks like on a map. Now, does this leave some room for error? Yeah. Anybody in their right mind knows that there's some stuff that's not excluded on there that could actually be, I guess, if it hunted outside of the blue circles that people it could find and still would not be in that area. Melbourne, Florida would be a good example, all right? What I believe in here is that especially when you're beginning an account or you're beginning a campaign, you've got to let it breathe, everyone. You've got to let your ads be shown to people. If you don't, it's going to restrict your reach, restrict the number of impressions, and what's going to happen is your CPL is going to go high. This right here is the ability for it to learn and to get enough conversions to come in to where we can teach the AI what we need to do. Now, that Anthony has given us our example, let's go back up to our value rules right here and go back to where we were and create a rule set. Yes, I understand. I would go in here. I'm going to go by location. We're at West Palm. West Palm Beach is a city. Look at that. And I could go into Coral Springs. Exactly what I did below. There is complete synergy right now between my value rules and that of my placement. What do you think that's telling the AI? It's teaching it where I want it to go and hunt. It's a tiger. It hunts. Let it hunt in the right place. I'm going to go down here and just say test rule. Let's say West Palm test rule. That way we don't get it confused and do this. I'll get a bunch of West Palm clients. And look at that. Now, here, I don't think that right now I want to apply a lot more extra money to this area. So I might do something like, hey, only 25%. People say, well, that's not going to make an effect. I'm talking about geofencing right now. This is about teaching it my area. And just by putting extra money towards that area, I'm teaching the AI that it's more valuable to me. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Yes, the rule is going to be called West Palm text because it wouldn't be meta if it didn't tell you to do something 3 times. Test value rule so everybody can see it. Here we go. Create that. And now we have a value rule for West Palm, and we've got geofencing down here for West Palm as well. There you go. We're going to stick away from things like minimum age. All that stuff is stuff we can discuss in other times and other areas, all right? We're going to stick away from all this stuff about how we would do this, and then you get into the detailed targeting, demographics, interests, behaviors. Again, that is a discussion for another time. We can go through this whole entire thing and take an entire day to go through everything you can find within the ad set level. But so far, we've got value rules. We've got ourselves geofenced and targeted within the map. Now what I want to discuss over here as I go up. Do I have a saved audience that would make it a lot easier for me? No, of course not. Sorry, y'all. This is what you get for doing it in real time. So what I did is I just switched over to original audience preferences, and I'm going to go over here into create new. The next way that we're going to layer, if we want to, on top of what we've already done, is through what's called a look-alike audience. Now, a look-alike audience is very popular for companies that have been around a while. If you have a customer base or you have a base of customers that you've had appointments with, then these are valuable customers, right? These are people that you'd like to find more people like them. You can do that. That's called a lookalike audience within Meta. Now, not only is this great for finding good people, but it's great for geofencing and targeting as well. Here, we ask our clients for 5 things to create a lookalike audience. Those 5 things are first name, last name, email, phone number, and zip code. What we find is that address becomes a little too wonky. And so by just providing zip code, again, you're sending signals to that AI that that's the area that you want that tiger to hunt. So if what we did, I think I can go in here and just go, let's do lookalike here. I'm going to come back to what these percentages are here. I create a new source. I don't have a customer value associated with it. This is just going to be a customer list. I can go in here. It tells me right here, if I wanted to, how the customer list should be put together. If you don't know, download the customer list, go over to something like a Claude, upload your customer list, upload the template, tell Claude to go ahead and run it and put it in the right format. It'll spit back out something that's perfect for you, and you'll be good to upload it right here. It works every time. Next, this is where I'm going to go ahead and choose my file. I've got a bunch of them right here. Let's just put this one that was the last one that we did. I go right here. I go to description. Let's just call it example look like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. This is, in this case, it's customers. It could be qualified individuals. I go into here. Everything looks good. Do I hope it doesn't give me an error? Good, it didn't. I'd be really embarrassed. And once you get here, now you've inputted the customer lookalike audience or the customer list. You want to go right here. It says customer lookalike. It's going to develop the lookalike audience from the customer list that you provided. Here's the weird thing, because why in the heck would Meta make this actually make sense? Look at this. They have a scale that you can drag. And what this means is from 1 to 10%. Why? Who knows? All right, it's Meta. 1% means that you want to find an audience exactly like the one that you gave it. All right. 10% means you want to find it vaguely like the audience that you gave it. In the beginning of a campaign, I highly recommend that you move it up to 10%. Now, people normally, there might be some argument about, like, why not just go really, if that's your audience, just go right in all in on them, because you do risk then restricting your reach. In other words, how many people are going to see your content can be restricted. Sometimes that can be a good thing, especially if you do have a high ticket item that you're trying to sell, or perhaps you have a very specific audience that you're trying to reach, but you need to make sure that you have enough people that your ads are going to be worth it. I see this a lot more 1%, 2%, and 3% at the national level, when even if you do have, I don't know, a product that is very specific to a certain demographic, you still have enough people nationwide to where 1%, 2%, or 3% actually are going to make sense. Anthony, can you take this for 1 second and just tell Ted I'll call him right back? I'm so sorry. I'm just live right now. Tell him I'll call him right back in 5 minutes. All right. I'm sorry. I've run a little bit long right here. So I'm sorry to Ted right there. I'm just got to give him 5 minutes and I'll be off of this. So 10% means it's going to be something that is vaguely like your audience. And this allows you, again, to still have the reach and the breadth to be able to have your ads reach some people. We okay? Call him back in like 5. So you have it able to reach people. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it up to 10%. I'm going to create that audience. And then you want to go here because, again, why would Meta make it easy? Make sure you delete the customer list right here, only leaving the look-alike audience. See, it says look-alike 10%, and now we've got that there. So right now what you've seen is that we have targeted an area in 3 ways. We've targeted it through value rules. We've targeted the area with our map pack that we saw right there and the geofencing that we had there. And then the third way is through the look-alike audience that we've created. Again, think about it. That look-alike audience has zip codes, emails, phone numbers. Those are associated with people that are in your area. And so it's all these things are layering on top of one another to give the AI a clear understanding of where you are and who you're trying to market to. All of this stuff matters, everybody. And so even with doing these things together, I want to caution you, once people begin to get in here and you get a little familiar with the geofencing, what you can do is you can restrict things too much. Don't fall into this trap. As you look at this, these are the 3 main ways that we look at it in the beginning, geofencing here. Don't fall into the trap of getting so specific with your audience and you go for parents and people between this age and this age, and you start just dwindling down the numbers and the opportunities that you're going to have to reach somebody. When you do that, your opportunity for that something to take off and to actually win for you goes down. I want you to look at it this way as we end, and I jump over to this call, is how many times have you been on social media on like a Instagram and seen an ad for something that you didn't know that you needed? Think about that. Happens all the time, right? And so if you're a home service contractor or any business, don't limit your audience too much to where you don't give yourself those opportunities. By making sure there's a vague audience and by making sure it understands the general area about where you want to be, you give yourself a chance to reach people maybe you normally wouldn't reach. And that's great for your business. That's how you build a brand and something that people begin to recognize. So that would be my advice as we jump into this one area of the ad set manager right here, is just geofencing. There is so much more that we could talk about this. You can geofence by zip codes. I could do a bulk edit when it comes to that. These are the basics, all right? So if you're jumping into the ads platform for the first time, this is a great place for you to start with your ads. That'll get you results quickly. And especially if you're doing a leads or an engagement campaign, will help to boost those numbers up. All right, I'll see y'all next time. I want to get through this right here. I'll end this right here. And if you've got any questions, comments, let me know below. And of course, always send us a message if you got anything for us. There you go. Geofencing, everybody. Come in.